Hey guys, it's InfraredGod, and I'm back with another Pokemon Brick Bronze video. This will be another Bronze Legacy stat change video for the Gen 2 stat changes and the second patch of Gen 1 stat changes. I'll be going over only some of these changes and explain my decisions for each one. These stat changes will either be released later today or tomorrow. With introductions out of the way, let's get into the actual update. So, I decided to give every single Hitmon the ability Technician so that they'd have another common trait. Just like a fun little gimmick. I also made sure that all of them had at least 100 attack, and all of them were decently fast. The only exception to this would be Hitmonchan with only 90 speed, but then again you can always put a choice scarf on it, and I made it pretty bulky, so I don't think 100 speed would be a good idea with this amount of bulk on Hitmonchan. I also gave Hitmontop slack off for some recovery, since a lot of people use Hitmontop as a spinner, but really the only way it can do damage is with fighting type moves, so people use it defensively, and for that he'd need a form of reliable recovery, which is why I gave him slack off. I also gave him Guts for his hidden ability instead of Steadfast, since Steadfast is pretty bad, and Guts would actually be useful on Hitmontop. Speaking of Guts, I replaced Guts on Flareon with Fluffy and I made it a special attacker. I also made it really fast. And now when it's Heat Wave at level 50 and Flamethrower at level 55, since it didn't really get a lot of good special fire moves by level up. People would just have to teach it like Overheat or Flamethrower by TM. Now, onto the actual Gentoo ones. Firstly, I buffed the crap out of Furret. I don't know why, but something told me to just buff Furret to insane levels, and that's what I did. Most of these were actually suggested by Yuri Simp, who suggested that Furret will be buffed in the first place, and I reworked Defeatus into an ability called Adrenaline, which basically has Defeatus effect in reverse. You get a 50% boost instead of nerf in special attack and attack when you're at below half HP. I gave that to Furret, along with the abilities Soundproof and Scrappy, since pretty much all of Furret's abilities were useless. I also gave it an extra ground typing so that it would be a bit more offensive. I gave it a bunch of moves, including mostly ground moves since I made it a ground type. And most of these changes won't apply to the pre-evolves, except for abilities. Now onto Noctowl. I finally made it a Psychic type because it should have been one in the first place, and I made it both decently bulky and really fast. I replaced Insomnia with Tinted Lens, which used to be its hidden ability, replaced Keen Eye with Serene Grace, and I made Magic Guard its new hidden ability. I also replaced Sky Attack with Hurricane by Relearn. I let it learn both Reflect and Light Screen at level 17, gave it Confusion on Evolution, and then reworked some placements for its moves like Extra Sensory. I gave it Hyper Voice and Oblivion Wing, which might have been a bit overkill, and I give it Nasty Fly. And the last Pokemon I want to cover is Lydian. I made Lydian a bug fighting type since it got Mach Punch and a bunch of fighting moves because it has Fists and it has Iron Fist, but its attack stat was just really bad. So I made its attack stat really good, and I actually made it a decently viable Mon. Nah, that's putting it too lightly. I made Lydian completely viable. I gave it Brick Break on Evolution, Bullet Punch by Relearn, Heal Order so it has a form of recovery, First Impression so it has good priority outside of Mach Punch, even give it Close Combat, Swords Dance, U-Turn, Knockoff, and Sucker Punch, so it's got good coverage and utility. I'm pretty sure people will start using Lydian a lot more after this. And those are all the changes I'm gonna cover. Thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.